I asked my community for a topic they'd like to see tackled, and I received a request for knowledge on how to deal with power creep, as they'd rather not turn into a mess that is modern Dragon Ball. I, as a Dragon Ball fan, I agree. Modern stuff can be a mess with power, but it doesn't have to be. I have 5 suggestions that can help with managing powers in a series. But first, let me bring those unfamiliar with these terms up to speed in relation to storytelling. Power creep is when characters in a story continuously gain power or abilities at a rate that outpaces the challenge or threats they face, leading to a gradual imbalance in the story's internal logic and stakes. To compensate, many often will escalate the actual threats they face to such absurd levels that it breaks the story. I find this pretty easy to avoid. My thinking all starts with Sanderson's second law of magic. Limitations are more interesting than capabilities. So, with that in mind, 1. Set clear limits early on. I highly recommend establishing the upper bounds of powers in your universe early on. If you make clear that there's a ceiling, it's harder to accidentally smash through it. How you choose to do this is your call. You could establish early on that there's explicit rules or laws that dictate the powers are. An example I love, in Slayers, Lena Inverse can't just brute force take down Ruby Eyes... I can't remember his name. Regardless, she can't brute force him because black magic works by drawing magic from Dark Lords. Her signature spell is drawn from him, and so it's ineffective on him. Those on his level remain a clear upper limit for the entire series, with literally the only thing above them being the Lord of Nightmares, who is the literal creator of the universe. Or, another suggestion, you could have a character that acts as a sort of preview of what is all possible that the leads are working towards matching. This is actually one reason I enjoy characters running to vastly superior characters who can humble or inspire the cast. Antagonists can also act well with showcasing a ceiling early on, which... well, there's a bit more to this technique that I'm discussing here. I've already made the video on this topic, so I'll provide it and a few others at the end of this video. In the meantime, let's focus on my second suggestion. Add a price to the power. This is when there's a whole trade-off for using a power. A simple example of this could be things like charge time, for instance. Dragon Ball itself once played with this quite a bit, with how there are moves that are insanely powerful, but require prep time that's overall not feasible. This can allow you to set up ways for characters to reach certain heights, but keep things overall grounded. If you're going to focus on power coming with a price, be sure to follow through on the blowback. For instance, did you know that Mega Evolutions in Pokemon cause Pokemon to suffer from a power overload and puts them in a frenzied state? It has no impact on anything though in gameplay or story, so it's just more power that breaks through the upper limits. If you don't want to have blowback or anything like that, another option could be to limit resources. In this case, you can stop things from going too far by making it so it can only be done under limited conditions or only a certain number of times. Like how in Yu Yu Hakusho, at first, Yusuke could only use his spirit gun once a day. This forces characters to be more strategic with power. And to note, even as he gets stronger, he still has a limit of how many shots he can fire a day. There are all kinds of ways you can limit magic. In Outlaw Star, the protagonist Jean Starwind possesses something known as a caster gun, an overpowered exotic weapon that can fire all sorts of effects. However, it runs on a rare ammo that's difficult to replace, meaning he can't just spam it to solve all issues. With this approach, resource management becomes a big deal. Of course, you don't have to go this route of constraints if you want to make things work. This actually brings me to what I've been looking forward to discussing the most: power diversification. This is something I love about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that led Araki to switch from Hamon to Stans. Versatility in skills, abilities, knowledge, and scenarios can open up all kinds of story avenues without escalating power levels. The key here is to stop thinking from an angle of brute strength and start thinking about things from the lens of skill and strategy. In fact, strategy and skill tend to be more memorable appeals to readers than brute strength alone, so use this to your advantage. Of course, pulling this off can be way more demanding on you as a writer than strength solutions. Luckily, again, I have your back. I've already made some videos I can recommend, like my one on strategy. I'll include that when I recommend the whole playlist at the end, though it isn't what I'd recommend watching first. What I would recommend deals with the fifth thing to help avoid this issue: smart uses of antagonists. This is a bit of an evolution from the power diversification thing. Basically, instead of constantly introducing stronger villains, focus on creating smarter or more complex ones. There are multiple angles that an antagonist can strike from, as well as offer tension without escalating power over and over. If you want to know more about what I have to say on that though, check out this video I made on the value of weak antagonists.